to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Hi, y'all. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. The biblical question for this week. The biblical question. How often do you throw rocks at others? How often do you throw rocks at others? Know thyself. It's the key to freedom. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're busy this morning, moving about, whatever you might be doing, anywhere in the world, and you can't sit right now and just watch the show, you can listen to it on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us. Follow JLP Talk on Twitter, Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram, and cozy.tv/JLP. Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right? Hit the button, ring the bell, subscribe, and y'all know what to do. And a reminder, because YouTube don't like us, they won't allow us to take super chats or anything on there right now. You can donate and have your comments read out loud at buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Talk. It is Thursday. And for the new listeners who might not be aware, and those who are, a reminder that every Thursday is Bible Bumper Thursday.
The sign outside the New Era Baptist Church in Birmingham reads, "A black vote for Trump is mental illness."
I am the daughter of two pastors.
You will emerge from that as an atheist.
President Joe Biden is only the second Catholic president.
The Pope is like, if you don't... They call him the Holy Father. Ain't nothing holy about the Pope.
God, why? Why George God?
Holy mackerel. I can't believe you people follow a man. Amazing. Amazing. Get hold of yourself. Become an individual. Become an individual. I was talking to a bunch of Christians yesterday, and they were telling me how they were out on the street saving people. how they got people saved. And for the first time in a long time, it was one of the most dumbest statements I ever heard. I just sat there and I listened. And I let them go on and on praising the Lord and talking about salvation and how they get people saved at their church and they save people on the streets and blah, 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 right? So I let them go on, mostly women too. I just realized it was mostly women, not all. All in the name. It's in the blood. And so I let them go on. And then when they finally calmed down a little bit, I ask, how is it possible for you to save anyone when you can't even save yourself? I just asked, how is it possible for you to save anyone when you can't save yourself? And they shut down. They couldn't answer that. They literally could not answer that. And what I realized, and I hope that they did too, and I think some of them did, they were just repeating what somebody said. And just think about it. You can't save nobody. You can't even save yourself. And it's all ego when you say that you out saving someone. How you going to save somebody? It doesn't even make sense, right? But they had not thought about it. They were just saying what the preacher said, and they're out feeling good, thinking they saved somebody. Come to Jesus. And it was mind-blowing to see the reaction because they just had not thought about it. So stop trying to save somebody. You can't save nobody. It doesn't even make sense when you think about it. You can't even save yourself. How shall the lost save the lost? And anyone who thinks that they can save somebody is lost. They have not been found. Just a little FYI. I want to comment on the debate last night. It was exactly what I expected. Just more of the same, just talking, just words with no meaning. They're saying everything they think that you want to hear, the soft ear. And it was just a bunch of lost children up there talking loud and saying nothing. Really. Some of you know there was an alpha male, but he wasn't in the room. He was doing Tucker Carlson show. He was not in that room last night. And it was just more of the same. To the point I didn't even watch the whole thing. It was just, I already knew what to expect. Some of you might not be aware, the Republican presidential candidate fought sometime bitterly in Milwaukee on Wednesday night during the first debate of 2024 campaign. It was a mess. That's from the AP. And CBS says that 8 Republicans qualified for the debate. The list included Doug Burgum, G-U-M, Burgum, Chris Christie, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, what a mess, Asa Hutchinson, Mike Pence, another mess, Vicky Ramaswamy, Ramaswamy, and Tim Scott, another mess. Talk about his mama. I'm so sick of Tim Scott. Talk about his mama. I can holler. A mama's boy, and he want to be president.
What the?
A mama's boy, and he want to be president. My mama told me, my mama raised me in a one-bedroom house. Amazing. It was a mess. You didn't miss anything if you didn't see it. You did right by going and get some rest. Or watching Trump on Tucker. Amazing. I told you about Mike Pence and Tim Scott. Watch this compilation.
I think unquestionably I am the best prepared, the most tested, the most qualified and proven conservative in this race. The president asked me in his request that I reject or return votes unilaterally, power that no vice president in American history had ever exercised or taken. He asked me to put him over the Constitution. And I chose the Constitution, and I always will.
I was a disillusioned young man growing up in a single-parent household, mired in poverty. I wondered if the American dream was real for a kid like me. I can stand before you today and say the dream is alive, it is well, and it is healthy. I had the good fortune of a mom who worked 16-hour days, making sure we have food on our tables. She taught me that if you're able-bodied in America, you work. If you take out a loan, you pay it back. If you commit a violent crime, you go to jail.
Mama's boy. My mama don't like you. She likes everyone. Mike Pence, turn on the Great White Hope. Tim Scott placed talk about mama. You can't make it. You got to do it. He talked about how he grew up in a single-parent household, married in poverty, and wonder if the American dream was possible for a kid like me. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean, kid like me? And why would you be thinking as a kid if the American dream was for you or not, possible for you? That doesn't even make sense either. How many children grew up, and while growing up, you were wondering, oh, is the American dream for me? That doesn't even make sense. I grew up on a plantation down in Alabama under the so-called Jim Crow law, I never wondered if the American dream was for me. What the? Just words about nothing. Trying to make you feel sorry for him so he can get some emotional going, and maybe you vote for him. And I can't, well, I understand it. When I say I can't, I do understand it. This guy, Mike Pence, turning on the Great White Hope. And we played you sound bites last week, earlier this week or whenever, of Hillary Clinton and others. Also, when Donald Trump was in the White House, they call him a not a president every day almost. Illegitimate president. They say it all the time. I remember when that socialist George Bush ran. Remember they did the recounts down in Florida? We had to wait. They did the recounts. So what's different about the Great White Hope doing it? And Mike Pence turned on his friend. That's what the devil would do. Isn't that amazing? And Nikki Haley, Lord, what another mess. Nikki Haley. The first thing she did was attack men, and those beta males said nothing about it. They didn't correct her at all. And if the men had said that about the women, it would have been true, but the woman would have an attack. They said none of those men said anything to Nikki Haley. Here's what I told you about Nikki Haley and Chris Christie. Watch this compilation.
Climate change real? Yes, it is. But if you want to go and really change the environment, then we need to start telling China and India that they have to lower their emissions. Trump is the most disliked politician in America. We can't win a general election that way. This is exactly why Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who once prepped Trump for debates, now pitching himself as the candidate most willing to take on the former president, who's mired in legal troubles.
Someone's got to stop normalizing this conduct, okay? Now, whether or not you believe that the criminal charges are right or wrong, the conduct is beneath the office of President of the United States.
Amazing. Number one, Nikki Haley said that the Great White Hope was disliked or whatever. He's one of the most beloved president on this side of heaven, not just in America. She's lying about that. And then the thing she said about Margaret, what's that woman's name? Margaret Thatcher or something like that? Where is Margaret now? Amazing. She got it backwards. She did, Margaret. And remember how Trump gave Nikki Haley a job? He picked her to be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. And remember how this sick woman took down a Confederate flag when Black Lives Matter was destroying the country? And then this thing about if you want to get something done, tell the woman, yeah, the woman will destroy it. Look at our country now. Look at our country now. Women are in charge. Nothing positive is coming from it. And none of those beta males on the stage last night corrected her. Remember when Nikki Haley said, I'm a strong woman. And in hours she wore a shirt that said, underestimate me. Underestimate me. That would be fun. What a mess. I want my country back. If those people get in charge of it, control of it, it ain't never coming back. A bunch of lost children. The Republican debate was about that last night and nothing else. They literally had nothing to offer. And Ron DeSantis, here's what I told you about Ron DeSantis. Watch this compilation.
We need to lower your gas prices. We're going to open up all energy production. We will be energy dominant again in this country. Our country is in decline. This decline is not inevitable. It's a choice. We need to send Joe Biden back to his basement and reverse American decline.
Under our leadership, we were a great and glorious nation, something you haven't heard for quite a long period of time. We were a strong nation, and importantly, we were a free nation. But now we are a nation in decline.
So the Great White Hope been saying that for a while. Run. You forgot? What up there playing Trump? And maybe he want to be what Trump really is already. I understand that. Trump is his example. The Great White Hope is his example. If you missed it last night, if you didn't watch it, it was just fine. You didn't miss anything. And most people knew it was going to be more of the same. They've been saying this forever. Amazing. I fell asleep on it. What the? And I told you about Vivek. Watch this.
And 38-year-old biotech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy earning the spotlight at center stage based on polling.
My parents came to this country with no money 40 years ago. I have gone on to found multi-billion-dollar companies. I did it while marrying my wife, Apurva, raising our 2 sons, following our faith in God. So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight. Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage?
The hope of slaves sitting around a fire singing freedom songs. The hope of immigrants setting out for distant shores. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too.
Amazing. He playing the same card that Obama was playing. This is why, yet another reason, why white men, y'all need to come back to yourself and take back your country. These people of color, they ain't gonna work. Everybody talking about coming from another country with a funny name, and I can't imagine. Why'd you even come here then? This guy was repeating the fall of Messiah. You saw what happened with him. Barack Obama took America to her knees, and now they're destroying it. They're stomping on the country. Vic using the same words, so I guess he's going to do what Obama did. We don't need foreigners running our country. Amazing. Amazing. It was just well, they tried to make it emotional. I don't know if anyone felt emotion from it, but they were working on your emotion like nothing going north. I could not believe that none of the guys corrected Nikki Haley when she went off on men, about men. First thing she did. And she was wrong. What she said was not true, the other way around. Amazing, huh? It was just a show. Political show, that's all. Theater acting on a stage. Just actors on a stage. Our country is in trouble. It has no good servants, men that you hire to work for you, and they get the job done, except for the Great White Hope. And Larry Elder would be would have really added to that thing last night. He would have brought some real life into it, but they didn't allow him to get there. They wouldn't allow him to get there. I'm told that Larry Elder tweeted that Vivek mentioned the epidemic of fatherlessness. And it is the epidemic. The light of the father goes out, the world shut down. The light of men goes out, and darkness come upon the earth. And I told you about the great white hope, Donald Trump. Watch this.
Rather than taking the stage in Milwaukee, Trump counter-programming in a pre-recorded interview with Tucker Carlson, released just minutes before the debate began. It appeared on X, formerly known as Twitter.
And I'm saying, do I sit there for an hour or 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, and get harassed by people that shouldn't even be running for president.
He is the front runner. He doesn't need to sit through all these attacks. But more importantly, he's been getting plenty of attention.
We are going to take a brief moment and talk about the elephant not in the room. You all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee. If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
DeSantis like, Lord, wait, let me see who raised their hand first. He looked around. Well, let me go raise mine. I don't want to. Like a little all sheepiest. And he raised his hand, and that little crispy looked like he didn't want to stand alone either. He finally raised his. What a mess! So the Great White Hope released that interview like 5 minutes before the so-called debate started. Forbes is reporting that the interview posted on Carson X account has received 154.7 million views as of 7 a.m. Eastern Time Thursday. Amazing. Christie denied that he raised his hand. I didn't hear about that. He did raise his hand sheeply like. I don't know if the Great White Hope, if he had been there, it would have been over in 5 minutes. I played this ad of the Great White Hope. I played this ad of the Great White Hope yesterday, I believe. Or maybe I missed it. I think I played it and talked about it a little bit. In case you missed it, watch this ad of the Great White Hope, Donald Trump. In case you didn't see it yesterday, here's Donald Trump's newest campaign ad from Donald Trump. Watch this.
They come from different walks of life, but all have one thing in common. They want their country back. Parents who want to take back control of their children's education. Veterans tired of being kicked to the curb. They believe in protecting the sanctity of life, securing our borders, standing for the flag, kneeling for God above, and an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. Hillary made fun of them.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Biden called them a threat.
The MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
And DeSantis degradingly called them listless vessels. No, they aren't, Ron. They're great Americans who know there's one person who will always have their backs.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Amazing. That's what I'm talking about. 888-775-3773. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them. The blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Stuck on you. I got a feeling down deep in my soul that I can't lose. I'm on my way. I'm mighty glad you stayed. Oh, amazing. Okay. Raise your hands if you caught the brand new show of Wow yesterday. Hassan, brand new show yesterday. It was amazing. We're building this network, and so we added a new, and we're going to make it 24-hour talk. Eventually, we're one break at a time. 24-hour talk, all men. And so yesterday, Hassan started his here, and it was amazing. It was interesting to hear your father speak.
Oh, yes, sir.
He sounded like he got some sense.
Yeah.
What was that like interviewing your father?
It was very interesting, and just kind of like how I opened it up. Just, obviously, again, very grateful and, just thankful for the opportunity and the platform. And, yeah, it was cool, because we always have these talks privately, and we discuss politics and we discuss religion, and,
nice.
we have some disagreements, but it's very interesting to kind of see the perspectives.
Y'all spoke like grown-ups. That was nice. Well, congratulations. You did an amazing job for your first show yesterday.
Thank you so much, sir.
Really, really. And the background thing with the water, like you standing there at the ocean, looking like Jesus, that was amazing, too.
Thank you.
So congratulations.
Water world.
Walking on water.
Thank you, sir.
So check it out. It's called WOW, W-O-W, Walking on Water. You can podcast it. They can podcast already?
Yes, sir. I believe so, yeah.
Okay, you can podcast it. All right? Amazing. Oh, not audio podcaster. YouTube only. And it was fun. He'll be here every Wednesday now at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So, after my show today, every day, Monday through Friday, the Hake Report, thehakereport.com from 9 to 11. And then at 12 noon today, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. All right? And for personalized shout-outs, go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. We have a brand new episode of The Fallen State tomorrow, Friday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, a brand new episode of The Fallen State. A very interesting discussion with Austin Peterson. He is a former Libertarian presidential candidate and the host of Wake Up America newscast. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
In 2016, I ran as a libertarian for president of the United States. We probably are going to do better presenting a unified front against what the left has become, which is a threat to all of our liberties.
What's wrong with the blacks?
No one wants to be a part of the out-group, Jesse.
And are you a good person?
Oh, boy, you were asking the big questions today.
Do you like being married to a woman who is like your mother?
She's basically like sunshine and rainbows.
I actually enjoy when he sheds a tear. That's really cool for me.
I bet. Amazing. TheFallenState.tv. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time. You do not want to miss it. It was amazing. I enjoyed talking to both he and his wife. I wasn't expecting to talk to the wife, but it was amazing. Let me go to Sim. First time call out of California there. Hey, Sim, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have two questions. One regarding the silent prayer and one regarding success and ambitions. So I've heard you say that, we need to drop all of our ideas and plans and completely get rid of thoughts in order to be free, correct?
Yes.
Now, does this mean that I can't want a better life for myself materialistically? Because if I'm miserable, right, I would at least like to be comfortably miserable because I don't want to be a miserable bum. You know what I mean?
And what made you think you would be a miserable bum if you dropped the idea of success and ambition and all that?
Well, I mean, that's the only thing that can make sense for me, because if I drop the idea of trying to make money, then, I mean, that's all it can lead me to.
But who said drop the idea of making money? It said drop the idea of trying to be successful.
Well, that's the thing, right? Anytime I hear that I have to drop all of my thoughts and ideas, it kind of makes me go towards that too, because this is also one of my thoughts, correct? And I want a better life, not only for myself, but also for my parents as well.
And why is that?
Well, I guess it's just a desire that I have because they've sacrificed so much for me.
They were supposed to. They were your parents. They were supposed to provide for you.
Yeah. And
it wasn't a favor,
right?
I'm sorry?
I completely get that, right?
Yeah.
And this goes back to the thing of if, we are in this fallen state, then I would at least like to live a comfortable life and be in this fallen state so that
can't you do that?
I don't really have to worry
can't you
about
do
the
that without trying to be successful? Can't you do that without having the idea of success?
Can I?
I'm asking you, can you do that without having the idea of success?
I would have to say yeah.
So then why you need to have the idea of success when all you have to do is get up and go to work and have a life?
So when you say that, like, drop all your ideas and plans, that doesn't mean, like, stop working towards a better life, correct?
What is a better life?
Better life? I mean, I don't know, like, sure, having a house is nice, right? But then the question becomes, do I want a one-bedroom house, and am I happy with that? Or do I want, like, a bigger house, right?
Right. But let's say that you never thought of, do I want a bigger house or do I want a one-bedroom? And just get you a house. Wouldn't you be happy that way?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know.
And let's say that you wanted to buy a house. You get a job and just have a job and just go to work and do your job and make money and invest it without having ideas of success. Wouldn't that be easier for you? Because success, what does success mean? How would you know when you're successful?
Right, and I guess you could say success is a very tailored definition for each individual because, success comes in a lot of ways.
But how would you know when you're successful if you don't compare it to someone or something else? Why compare? Why not just live your life?
So I can do all of this, like make money, whatever, but all I have to do is not get, I guess you could say, identified with the fact that I want to make money?
Absolutely. Don't compare it to anyone. Don't try to. You got to, in order to be successful, you got to think of something as not successful, right? But if you don't have this idea of success on your mind, you would not be thinking of not being successful and just live your life and have an amazing life without being all ambitious and jealous and envious and competing with anyone. His phone dropped. Sim, your phone dropped. Let go of all these ideas and just live your life. You've been taught wrong. You can buy a house without thinking about being successful. And however many bedrooms it has, you wouldn't feel like a failure. Oh, Sim is back real fast. Oh, good. Sim.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just imagine. I'm sorry?
I said my call failed, so I couldn't hear what you said.
I said that why not get up and go to work and make your money and buy your house and save some money and do what you do without thinking the word success or comparing yourself to others. Wouldn't that be easier and amazing if you're not in competition or comparing yourself to anyone else about anything?
Yeah, and it would be, right? But then I'm like, okay, if I want to experience new things, then that requires more resources, right? Resources meaning money. Like if I want to explore the Bahamas, then I have to, get the money for the hotel and things like that.
And how old are you?
Right now I'm 19.
And so you can do that without comparing. You have a job, and the job helps you make money, and you do those things in the physical world. But you still don't have to compare. Make some money, go to the Bahamas, have fun, and don't try to have fun based on the way someone else had fun or compare yourself to it. It'll be an easy life for you, a natural life.
Because, even when I look at you, right? You have studios, you have, the place where you hold church. I'm sure you wanted a nice place for the people to be in for church, correct?
But I don't compare myself to anyone else. I don't try to be like anyone. I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm just living my life and doing what's in front of me.
Okay. So it's fine as long as you don't compare.
Right.
Correct?
If you get rid of the idea, I'm going to be successful or I'm going to be ambitious, all you're doing is putting a strain on your life, playing God, trying to make things happen. And you may get those things, but you'll be miserable on the inside. But if you just live your life without ideas like that, you'll be fine.
And that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily completely going to drop the idea of making money, right?
No, you get up and go to work. You need money to function on this earth.
Okay.
But just don't compare yourself to anyone else. If John Doe has a little bit more money than you, just wish John Doe well, but don't want to be like John Doe. Don't compare your money to his money, and it'll make you feel like you're less.
Yeah, because that makes a lot more sense. And the second question I have is, during the silent prayer, right?
Yes.
You said to watch our thoughts.
Right.
And even when you say that, right? When I'm not talking, that voice in my head, I say to myself, okay, I'm going to watch my thoughts. And there's like a disconnect because who is watching the thoughts? Is it the voice that's in my head, or do I have to watch that voice, if that makes sense?
Repeat that for me again. Repeat that question.
So during the silent prayer, right, we're supposed to watch our thoughts.
Right.
And are we watching that voice in our head? Or, because that voice in our head is, like, I can talk in my head, right? Is that the voice we're watching?
Yes.
Or, because I always get confused with that.
The real you is watching and not you. You're not the voice in your head. You're not the thoughts that come from the voice in your head. And you're not the emotion that come from the thoughts and the voice in your head. And if you just watch that, the real you is watching the not you, and you will overcome the not you because you will no longer identify with the not you.
Because lately, I mean, as soon as I heard about the silent prayer, I did it. And I've been doing it for about a week and a half. And I've noticed that even when I get into conflict with my family, when it's happening, I step out of myself, you can say, like, out of my body. I'm just using this as an example. I step out of my body and I try to understand what is happening. And when I detach myself, it kind of gives me a better understanding. And the thoughts that I would have, if I wasn't so aware, would overwhelm me, but they don't do that anymore.
That's beautiful. And you're supposed to overcome those thoughts. If you don't, you're going to have the same stressful, fearful, scared life that every adult and child have as long as they live in those thoughts, believing that they are the thoughts. You're not the thoughts. And when you step out of them and just observe them, you're now living real life with no stress, no worries, no comparison, no envy, no jealousy, no nothing, no fear. You're just living your life. And when you do argue with your parents, it wouldn't be a big deal because they'll be arguing by themselves. You wouldn't argue back with them. You wouldn't fight with the devil.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know. I was just kind of stuck in this dilemma because when I hear people say that you have to drop your ideas, drop your ego, I'm like, well, I don't want to be a bum, right? Like, I don't want to go on the street.
No, you can work a job, and I would encourage you to work. You should work and take care of yourself. You need a job, you need money, you need a house, or at least somewhere to live, but you can have all that without trying to be successful or have the idea of an ambitious person. Don't let anyone put that on you. It's a heavy load to try to be successful or be ambitious. It's all ego. And it says that you don't trust that life will work for you.
Right, because, I mean, you are doing great, right? So you are living proof that going full feet, jumping into the water fully, aka, getting out of this fallen state, is good and beneficial. Like, it can't hurt you because, I mean, you're well off. And I guess I just have to trust the path more, right?
Yeah, stay with the silent prayer. Just watch, get up and get a job and go to work. And when you get paid, save 10% of your money. I'm telling you what I did. Save 10% of your money every time you get paid. And then pay your bills and your rent, buy some gas, a little food, and opportunity will naturally come where you can invest, buy yourself a house, or one thing will lead to another. You don't have to be in competition with anyone. You don't have to be ambitious. You were not created to be ambitious. You were created to live. And that's all you have to do. Life is already laid out. You don't have to make it happen. You just have to live in it. Instead of living in this false idea of success and ambitions. And people who are doing that are angry and they have fear. They're stressed out. They worry, and enough is never enough for them.
Right.
All right?
So,
are you working now?
What was that?
You have a job now?
Yeah, I have a job, and then I also have an online business.
Are you still living with your parents?
Yeah, I'm still with my parents.
And you're 19?
Yeah.
Why don't you get your own place?
Honestly, I don't have enough money right now because I have to. Well, I pay my parents for rent.
Oh, good. Okay, you're fine then. As long as you're paying something, you're not staying there free, you'll be fine. You're on your way. Take it one day at a time. Don't compare yourself. Stay with the silent prayer. And at least you're paying them to stay there. You're not living on them and they're taking care of you. You're doing the right thing. Stay with it, all right?
All right. So, I mean, I can do the silent prayer at a Ferrari, right? Nothing wrong with that, right?
That's right. Just don't get your identity from the Ferrari.
Right.
And nothing wrong with having a Ferrari. There's nothing wrong with having a 1-bedroom home or 10-bedroom home. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't get your identity from anything. Enjoy it, but don't get a sense of being important or an identity from it.
Like, don't make my whole personality out of it, right?
100%. That's right.
Okay.
Are you from India?
Yeah, I was born there, but right now I'm in America.
Right on. So, yeah, you can enjoy those things, but don't get a sense of identity from them at all. You should have the take it or leave it. You can take it or you can leave it. If you have it, you enjoy it. If you don't have it, you still enjoy life. You're still fine.
Okay. I mean, that takes a weight off my shoulder because it makes me, I guess you could say, a bit satisfied that, hey, if I continue on this silent prayer path, I don't necessarily have to drop the idea of being wealthy.
Right.
But first I have to be wealthy inside in order to enjoy the external wealth.
Right on. Well said. Well said. Everything starts from within first.
Well, thank you very much for, I guess, it's getting rid of these thoughts for me.
Amazing. Call me again, man. Amazing. Stay with it, one step at a time, all right?
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, buddy. Amazing. I can't believe this hour's up already. What the? Bible Thumping Thursday, there's one line open. Amazing conversation right there. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. 2 more hours to go. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, and individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Trump to be arrested today, based in that vapid rhino debate, mostly inconsequential, as you heard earlier this hour from JLP. Rest in peace to that Wagner boss, Yevgeny Prigozhin. Is he dead? I heard they found his cell phone, but no body parts. He was in a plane crash. And some other mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Thursday, August 24th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 2. Jesse Lee will be right back for Bible Thumper Thursday. Back to your calls. There is one line open. You can call in right now. 888-77-JESSE. 1-888-775-3773. JESSE. No I in Jesse, by the way. To get on air with JLP, but first, Hake news, not fake news. Weight matters to airplanes. Call me Nonsense Network. CNN reports passengers flying with Korean Air, those Koreans, in the next few weeks will be weighed anonymously before boarding their flights. Although potentially uncomfortable, the policy has nothing to do with body shaming, reports the commies at Nonsense Network, but rather about obtaining data on the aircraft's fuel needs and weight distribution on board. Duh. Silly. Trump is turning himself in, or I don't know if he already has, and to be arrested and bailed. Our greatest president said he will turn himself in at the Fulton County Jail near Atlanta, or in Atlanta, not sure, today after agreeing to a $200,000 bond. Ridiculous. He should charge them. And other release conditions. Trump and 18 others have been charged. 18! With participating in schemes to meddle with Georgia's 2020 election results. All co-defendants must surrender ahead of noon Friday deadline set by District Attorney Fannie Willis. She black. The deadline was set when Fannie Willis, unveiled last week's sweeping indictment over attempts to overturn Trump's 2020 election loss. When asked whether Trump would have his mugshot taken, Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt, as you may have heard on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show earlier this week or last week, said that our greatest president, he didn't call him that, would be treated like local inmates and would not receive special treatment during the booking process. That vapid rhino debate I mentioned, 8 Republican presidential candidates faced off yesterday night, Wednesday, in the first primary debate of the 2024 campaign in Milwaukee. I think that's Wisconsin. Clashing over a multitude of issues that they vied to make their cases as to why they're the best alternative or second best or whatever to our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Trump skipped the debate ahead of his expected surrender today in Georgia. 2020 election subversion case. That's rich, isn't it? In his absence, our greatest former vice president, Mike Pence, sorry, maybe he's not our greatest, led the debate with more than 12 minutes of speaking time. I don't know if he led the debate, but he spoke the longest. Entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy was the central figure for most of the night, all brash. Brawling, figuratively speaking, with Pence over his experience. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, another Indian gal, over foreign policy and Israel, funny, and New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, the fat rhino, over Trump, and more, where sharp attacks were thrown. Political experts say nothing that happened in the debate is likely to turn the race on its head as Trump retains his massive lead in the polls. So right on, President Trump. Wagner Group founder Yevgeny Prigozhin was on board a plane that crashed with no survivors northwest of Moscow, according to Russian authorities, just months after his failed uprising, supposedly, against Russia's military leadership. He was that mercenary group fighting in Ukraine. The Kremlin has not commented. 10 people on board the aircraft. Russian authorities said efforts will be made to confirm the identity of the victims. Biden thinks that Putin may have been behind the crash. I don't know. We'll see. I'm James Hake.
Somewhere in the world to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week. My biblical question. How often do you throw rocks at others? How often do you throw rocks at others? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're working out, laying up at the beach, or making breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or whatever you might be doing, and you're anywhere in the world, and you just can't sit and watch the show, you want to podcast it later, but you like to be listening as you're busy during your day, you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on cozy.tv/JLP and Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. That's rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and Cozy. COZY. Cozy.tv/JLP. Amazing. It's Thursday. It's the second hour of the show already. And every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday.
The sign outside the New Era Baptist Church in Birmingham reads, "A black vote for Trump is mental illness."
I am the daughter of two pastors.
You will emerge from that as an atheist.
President Joe Biden is only the second Catholic president.
The Pope is like, if you don't. They call him the Holy Father. Ain't nothing holy about the Pope.
God, why? Why George God?
Holy mackerel. I can't believe you people follow a man. Why George, Lord? Why? Why George, Lord? Before I get into this whole thing about the rapture, because a lot of Christians are waiting to be raptured. The rapture. And we're going to be discussing that. But I want to go to Kenny. He's been waiting a while. And then we get to some super chats, and then I get into the rapture. Kenny, welcome to the show. First time call out of Sweet Home, Alabama. You're on the air.
Phoenix City, shout out, baby, right down the road from you.
That's amazing.
Ain't it amazing? Look, I praise God for you, man. You really opening up a lot of people's eyes. And you sent me on a path about 2 months ago, and my mother was a Orthodox Pentecost, and we're going to laugh a little bit about this. This is going to be fun. As a kid, I just knew that I was on the Hell Express. I was going to be the bus driver, and I'd sit up and wait at 12 o'clock, and then we'd click 12:01. I'd be like, oh, waiting for it to happen, But I have forgiven my mother of late. About a month and a half ago, I went to her and I said, Mom, I just want my mother back. I said, you don't have to be the spiritual leader anymore. I have submitted to God. For the first time in my life, I am standing for God and putting him first over my wife and, other things. And he has just recently have given me a federal job. It's wonderful. I have, I was a painter for 30 years, and painting is from Satan. There ain't no doubt about it, because it's so hot down here in the South. It feels like hell almost.
What happened when you went and forgave your mother? What did she say?
She absolutely received it. She realized what she was doing, because she does love God, but she didn't realize she was bound by a legalistic approach to her witness, which chased all her kids off.
Yeah.
We've all come back to God, and now me and my mother have it is an amazing relationship that we have. We go to church together now. We eat out, and it's just been wonderful, man. And since then, it has opened my heart to a lot of other things. And it took me 53 years, man. I was raised in the church, man, since I was 10 years old. It took me 53 years to push through some of these things that have bound me, and I actually seen the Father. Of course, you can't see him, but that's just a figure of speech. And I felt the Father's presence for the first time in my life, and it was the most amazing experience I've ever been through. And I don't feel like that it's even possible to backslide at all. Sin is getting squashed at every corner. I have one last obstacle to overcome, and it's the question I called you about, and it's kind of a confirmation question, but I wanted to see your view on it.
Okay.
So my wife is in a fallen state, of course. She deceived me. She said she was a Christian, and she lived that life for about a year, and of course, the facade, all that, that every woman's going to try to get you, and but I fell for it. I married her. And, I'm at the point now where I before I actually put her above God, and a lot of bad things happened to me. I realized my mistakes and my shortcomings, and, I came back to the Lord, and now it's a battle, of course, because she is in a fallen state. But the big question now is, she is smoking marijuana on my property and in my house. She won't put it in my house. She won't keep it in the house, but she's still smoking it outside. And I asked her, I said, it's either me or pot. I won't be second place to marijuana. And I put my foot down, and it's been a huge fight. And I've been under control the whole time. I'm not emotionally involved anymore because I'm walking in the Spirit, and it's almost comical. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful watching God work, man. It's the most incredible thing I've ever experienced in my life. However, my big issue is if I keep allowing her to smoke on my property and in my house, I'm experiencing spiritual battle at night. When I sleep, I'm praying for like 8, 9, 10 hours, and then I'm waking up consciously and praying it through. And this has happened 3 times of late in the last month. And it's horrible. If you've ever had a spiritual battle in your mind and something like that, and I believe you being a man of God like you are, I believe you've experienced that before. At this point, I don't know whether to call the law on her or to just destroy it, or I've tried every angle. I'm not going to abandon her because I know that's not what God wants me to do. He wants me to force through this, but I also want to put him first and make sure I'm doing the righteous thing here. Is that kind of a legalistic bind that's got me?
Let me ask, before I respond to the question, do you have children with her?
I do not.
No children. And what was the purpose of getting married if you wasn't going to make children?
I'm 50. When I met her, I was 47, and I was out of another marriage that I do have kids with. And I've always wanted a Christian woman. And, after, being divorced from my first wife, it seemed very, I'm still young, and I got desires, and just as every man does, and I made a mistake marrying her.
You made a mistake. So you just married her to have sex?
No, not necessarily. No. I wanted a partner in life. It wasn't about sex. I know that I do have those desires, and I was having
but don't you have children? You say you have children by your first wife, right?
Yes, sir.
But so having children, and eventually you're going to have grandchildren and things like that.
I have grandchildren.
Oh, and so that wasn't enough for you to enjoy the rest of your life, to hang out with your kids?
At the time, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. I was in a fallen state too, sir.
I got you. So here's what I recommend. Since you don't know exactly what to do about this woman smoking a pot in your house like that, don't get angry and just stay away from the anger. And I tell you, man, if you stay away from the anger, you would see how to deal with this woman in a perfect way. Whatever that might be.
I actually haven't been angry.
Good.
I've been talking. She's been angry at me, and I've just been, saying, well, this ain't right. I've been completely under control. And I've even helped her with her being angry at me all through this. I just let it go. And I worked all day on her cars, and and I'm not getting angry with her.
On.
It's a trip how I'm not.
Nice. Did you tell her that she can't smoke in the house? She can smoke outside, but not in the house?
No, I said she can't smoke at all, because you're not going to kill yourself because you're married to me and you're killing half of me. And God doesn't look down on that. I mean, he looks down on that.
No,
goes,
but God is not going to force her to stop smoking pot. He will warn her kind of along the way. But if she doesn't stop, he'll just let her kill herself.
I understand that, and that's the love that I have for her. I don't want her to die. I don't want her to go to hell.
Why not?
My intentions are pure.
Why not?
Because that's terrible.
What's terrible about it? She's already in hell. That's why she's smoking the pot.
Right, but she still has hope, don't she, Jesse?
No, apparently not.
Yeah. So what would you suggest I do?
I would warn her that what you're doing is not healthy for you, it's not good for you, and I suggest you not do it. But if you do it, go ahead and kill yourself. There's nothing I can do about it.
And I just stand there and just keep praying for her, and that's not going to affect me none. That's my whole point on this. God isn't going to look down on me for allowing her to do that in my house, is he?
No, not at all. You've given her all the warning signs. And
beautiful. That's so liberating.
And if she want to kill herself, let her kill herself. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't save her.
Right. I'm not emotionally involved on that, but
and God's not going to punish you. God's not going to punish you because your wife decided to kill herself.
Okay. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I mean, there's no emotion involved in this. It's just a spiritual battle, and
yes,
my heart, cries out to her, man. Because I do love her with the Father's love.
But if you love her with the Father's love, your heart should not be crying out for her. You should just warn her about what she's doing and leave her alone. Let her do it.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So just stay there at the house and keep praying for her. And, I don't get angry at all. Like I said, it's almost funny. She's writhing around like a serpent, and I'm just sitting here almost laughing at it, really.
And the fact that she knows that you want her to stop smoking it, she's going to smoke it more. But if she sees that you don't care either way, she's more likely to stop.
Good stuff. That's what I needed to hear. That was a nugget.
Yeah. I appreciate
I live right down the road from Opelika.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the plantation now, brother.
Right on. The plantation is amazing. Thank you, Kenny. Call me again. I appreciate you, man.
God bless you, sir. Thank you for everything you do.
All right, buddy. Bye now. Amazing. Go and forgive if you want to be free, and then live your life. And all identities, which is nothing but ego, which is nothing but of the devil, not real, will fall away, and you can be free, folks. Right here on earth. You don't have to wait to die. Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chats.
Morning. Mr. Pink.
Morning.
Mr. Pink bought a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk.
Buy me a coffee.
to answer the biblical cue.
How often do you throw rocks at others? How often do you throw rocks at others?
Mr. Pink says, I do not throw rocks, not since I was a kid, and used to skip stones across the lake's surface. I do, however, have to catch myself when throwing stones or accusations toward others, as Jesus referenced. I just remember Jesse's words about how I am fighting the same battle within myself as others are.
Amazing. I will respond to that, the biblical question on Sunday. Thank you for doing that. It's amazing. I appreciate it.
And then he says, P.S., and this was yesterday that he gave this super chat, there is some beeping going on again on Jesse's side at this time. Quick, fix, just FYI. Thank you so much, Jesse and crew.
Did you guys resolve that issue?
I'm not aware of it.
Beeping?
I'm just now reading his super chat.
What did the producer say about the beeping?
I don't know, because none of us read this super chat until now.
Oh.
So.
Well, thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Evgeny Crosby with a couple of diamonds. Hey, Jesse. I cry in front of my girlfriend every night. Is that a problem?
Why are you crying every night? And yes, that is an issue. Overcome that real fast. And if you just gotta cry, go in the bathroom somewhere, another room and cry. And don't let her know. What the? Come on, man. Maybe you're joking.
I think so.
I think so, too.
I'm assuming.
But thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. Jesse, I am trying to end a relationship with my Catholic, not civilly married wife. I stopped being beta, and she wouldn't follow my lead, and she wouldn't respect and obey, and she refuses to leave until she's ready. Ain't that something? What the?
Mess.
Anyway, should I get the authorities involved to get her out of my house? He asks.
Well, I don't know. I would need more information. You can call me. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE.
Yeah, I don't know if I would contact the authorities.
Right.
Because once you let them stay for a certain number of months, they're considered residents.
Right.
You can't even get squatters out of the house. Depends on where you are.
So I can't answer that. It's just not enough information. But thank you. I wish you well with it, though.
Yeah, you might have to just rely on that inner authority.
Right. Work on yourself and you'll see what to do. Don't get angry. You will see how to deal with it. You really, really will. Just don't overreact. Thank you.
But we do have private counseling as well as calling into the radio show.
Oh, yeah. If you want private counseling, you can go to rebuildademand.com, rebuildademand.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. Thank you.
Over on Buy Me a Coffee, Kev Fisher bought 3 coffees. Shout out to the experts! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Jesse, how did Hassan get you to play video games? Did you enjoy? Also, will you make Grandpa tell me about the good old days shirt?
That's a good point. Good idea, I mean. When did I play video game with Hassan?
He may be confusing Nick with Hassan.
Oh.
Because Nick looks Arab, too. Like a white Arab, just like Hassan. A white Hispanic Arab.
Yeah, Nick is asked a while back. Nick asked me to do it. I did. It was fun. It was the Anchor Baby.
JLP plays.
Yeah.
Got to bring that back sometime.
Evidently. Thank you.
George bought a coffee. Sometimes when I listen to you help.
Why, George, Lord?
Not that, George. Anyway. Sometimes when I listen to you helping your callers, I cry tears of inspiration and joy. Is feeling this emotion the devil? Thank you.
Not if you're wishing them well. You know, another soul being saved, whatever. Have returned to the Father. Don't make a big deal of it. Let it come and let it go. Let it pass. But it doesn't sound like it.
No Name Explorations.
Thank you.
Yeah, No Name Explorations bought 5 coffees. Jesse, I do the silent prayer, and my forehead will hurt all day long. Would I be correct to assume that this pain is brought on by the demons because I'm looking towards the light of God?
Though I don't know, but it sounds like you putting too much effort into it. You need to relax your forehead instead of straining with it. Don't put your will into it at all, any will into it. Just let it happen. Relax and close your eyes and watch the thoughts come and go. Just let them pass without putting any effort into it, all right? Don't try to make it happen. You just let it happen. Thank you.
Evgeny Crosby with another couple of diamonds. Oh, no. Before I get to Evgeny Crosby, Big Mama Michelle donated a diamond. Pence betrayed Trump. His political career is over.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't even make sense that Pence would do that to the Great White Hope. It shows where his heart is. Never trust a person with anger. It just doesn't make sense to him. If he wanted to run for try to be president, he could run without turning on Trump.
Yeah, although Trump was overly trusting, I guess, of some of his picks, he did not trust Chris Christie, he said.
Amazing.
He never trusted Chris Christie to give him a job in the administration.
Who did? Trump did?
Trump didn't. He said that in his interview with Tucker last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, he was wise with that.
Yep.
Crispy.
Chris Crispy.
And that guy has apparent issues, right? Anyway, Evgeny Crosby donated a couple of diamonds. Chris extra crispy knees were buckling on stage because his body couldn't take that much standing, says Evgeny Crosby.
What? Thank you.
Tabor J. Eaton bought a coffee. Tabor. Trump's interview with Tucker last night was amazing. Alpha president, he says.
Nice. I didn't watch it, but I will. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I checked it out. It's cool.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing.
Nice.
Someone bought a coffee.
How long was it?
45 minutes or so.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, it goes by. Someone bought a coffee. Happy Men's History Month. All feelings and all thoughts are all lies all the time. We should always stay present and keep our mind on where our body is. That's amazing.
Yeah.
By the way, have you ever been to Finland? Isn't one of your crew members partially Finnish? What the?
No, I've never gone there. Happy Men's History Month. And I guess Sean is part Finland.
Yeah, if anybody is, it would be Sean.
Oh, Sean said yes, he is.
One of those tall white guys.
My producer.
Are the Finns tall? Probably.
Yes, thank you.
Big Mama Michelle donated another diamond. Tongue twister. Christie Krispy Kreme. Say that 5 times fast.
Amazing. Thank you.
And Star Sion donated a coffee. These younger generation wants to idolize Andrew Tate. Want all the nice things, but no work ethics. Can't keep a job, just lazy. Some type of emoji that I can't decipher. Jesse, sloth. Sloth emoji. Jesse, do you believe in what's in the Bible about signs of the last days? Everything that's happening now was prophesied by Jesus. Hassan, wow, Yeezy, styling yesterday. Clapping emoji.
Hassan was styling?
Yeah, according to her.
In that pink jacket? What the?
I suppose you could call it a style for sure.
It was definitely a style. And do I believe in the last days, right? Yes.
Yeah, and what's in the Bible about the signs of the last days?
I don't know what that means. But and you're right. I've read it there. I heard it over and over again, but I don't know what that means yet.
And the last coffee from Mr. J. Sandman and I want to give a huge shout out to Hassan for his new show. Wow, Hassan, right? Much deserved. Sandman was barking in tongues and holding up holy paws. The whole show, amazing.
Amazing. Thank you. And you're right. Congratulations to Hassan. Hassan is now on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time, right here on this network.
And thanks, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you all. Amazing. Amazing. So I want to ask us before you leave.
Okay.
It is Bible Thought for Thursday, and I've been hearing a lot about the rapture. You ever heard about that?
I have since childhood.
The Christians are waiting for the rapture to happen, and they're dying off like flies, and the rapture still didn't happen.
True.
Here is a little history about the rapture first from History Channel. Watch this.
Prophecies within the New Testament predict a period of extraordinary tribulation. 7 years of mounting calamities, climaxing with the end of days. They foretell that we will experience unprecedented suffering and great cataclysms that may wipe out mankind. They believe pandemics will wipe out millions. Climate change will bring scorching heat. A third of Earth's waters will be poisoned.
There are a number of signs that Jesus and the Hebrew prophets and the New Testament apostles lay out that will be indicators that we are in the last days and that return of Jesus is coming.
But before this great time of suffering begins, according to some interpreters, the Bible points to a way out, the rapture. They claim that this event promises to transform believers into spirit bodies who will suddenly and literally be taken up in the air, escaping the pain and sorrow to come. But it suggests disaster for those who remain.
Because you have kept the word of my perseverance, I also will keep you from the hour of testing.
This passage speaks to a crucial issue debated for centuries: whether true believers will be taken into heaven before the disasters that mark the apocalypse, also known as the tribulation, or whether they will be raptured after they have endured the tribulation.
Amazing.
Crazy.
And then according to 1 Thessalonians 4:17, after that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. To meet the Lord in the air, and so we will be with the Lord forever. And in 1 Thessalonians 4:15 through 16, we who are still alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will certainly not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will come from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Amazing. What do you say to all that?
I was raised on a little bit of this stuff. Not that my parents taught me this stuff specifically, but they had Chicks publications tracts. You know those little comic book things that have scare you?
And they belong to some chick, you say?
No, Chicks. Some guy named
More
Chick.
than one chick?
No, a man named Chick.
Oh.
Chick apostrophe S.
Oh, I thought you meant.
So you never heard of... No. You never heard of Chicks publications? Maybe you just don't remember.
I remember people pass out those little
tracts.
But I always threw them away.
Whatever, I read them. Because I was a little kid, my mother had a basket full of them.
Really?
Yeah, oh my goodness. Some of them were scarier than others.
Homegrown Christian.
Uh-huh. And so I never wanted to be tortured as a Christian. I'm like, am I going to be tortured and I have to not deny Jesus?
That's why I threw them away, see? Let me take a quick break.
I hope I get raptured.
888-7753-773. Your phone calls when I come back. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have the sex. You don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you gotta stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. That history, the history thing, that clip we played was dramatic. Very drama. 888-7753-773. So you were saying about the rapture that your parent got those little Christian pamphlets from a bunch of chicks. And then,
no, probably from the Christian bookstore.
Oh.
Lighthouse Christian Bookstore, which is now closed, taken over by Asians. Shameful. But I never heard about climate change. They put they put all kinds of mess in there that's fit it with the world's notions of what's going on.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I wanted to never die. I wanted to get raptured first before I die. So I hoped that the rapture would happen before I had to suffer or die or anything like that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And why?
Who wants to die? Nobody wants to die. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to suffer or die or anything like that.
Were you afraid of dying?
Yeah, I was afraid of dying.
But why were you afraid of something that doesn't exist?
You say that. I don't know. I remember seeing a picture of somebody being like tortured, like they're bound up against this thing, and then the person is like torturing them. Will you deny Jesus? And it's like a fancy high-tech torture thing.
Why would your parents let you go through all that?
I don't know if my parents knew that I was reading those,
Oh.
but my mother did have the basket full of them, and I would sometimes pull one out, pull another out. I read about this Indian goddess woman named Kali. That was so crazy. Had these beheaded heads.
Kali.
Kali.
Oh.
Kali.
What?
You're just being silly.
But anyway.
So, and then later, after I was older, that Left Behind series came out with the books and the movie TV series with, I think Kirk Cameron was in them.
Right.
And I didn't really watch those. I was into like my own thing, reading the Bible and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't watch those either.
Yeah. But I also, for one, I don't know what the Bible means when they say different things along those lines.
Yeah.
And I think that people make assumptions that that maybe isn't even what's meant.
Yeah. I agree. And so now your opinion about the rapture is what? Or what you think about it?
I don't think about it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. And it's nothing that I do or don't do in terms of learning about it has really helped with. I'm more interested in like how we're supposed to live than like quibbling over what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's funny too, the Christians' idea about what's going to happen and about God and about this are all wrong.
Yeah.
They're simply ideas, but they're all wrong. All ideas come from the devil.
Yeah. Crazy. Who knew?
Well, man, that video about the raptures that we just played, those things are already happening.
Right. And don't they say they've been happening? There will be wars and rumors of wars and different plagues.
They've been happening ever since mankind existed.
Maybe the whole existence is the last days.
There have been wars and rumors of wars and famine and
perversions,
murder,
all kinds of
and it's
cold-hearted people.
It's always been happening.
Yeah.
So, I guess I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah. I sometimes contrast present day with days that are before I was born, or even when I was young, that how stuff seems to have gotten so much worse in terms of the degeneracy that people accept and embrace.
Right.
But I don't know I think that stuff always existed.
Right.
It's just that the evil and acceptance of evil comes in kind of waves.
No, it's just that it's on TV and the internet now.
Oh, that's true too.
They didn't have internet before.
Yeah.
And because the Romans, when they introduced the little so-called debate last night with the Republican, what a sham.
Yeah.
They said that debates started, I guess, with the Romans way back when.
Oh, well, they liked it a lot. They popularized it, I guess.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And then that during the Roman day, I believe they said Romans, I could be wrong. But they said during those days, the Romans would want you on stage degrading one another, talking about their personal business and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Who said that?
The moderators of the
Fox News debate? Well, that's kind of fun information.
Yeah, they said
Brett Baer said that or somebody?
They said during the debate, the candidates would bring out, if you have been done incest and all that kind of stuff, throw that out there on you.
Yeah.
And then the person that didn't overreact will end up being the winner.
Yeah.
It was interesting to hear that.
Yeah, that is.
So all this mess has been going on forever.
True.
And the reason it is happening because of the human heart is wicked.
Yeah.
And then when your heart changes, that's when everything changes for you. And so you'll be in the world, but not of it. You wouldn't be out there in all that mess going on. You wouldn't be a part of it.
Yeah.
And that's what it means to be raptured, is that you can change at the blinking of an eye.
Oh, okay.
Your heart change, everything changes.
Yeah.
And you'll be in the world, but you wouldn't be having the fear. You wouldn't be jealous and envy and full of strife and worried and all that mess.
That could work.
But it'd be happening out there, but not in you. You are your world.
Nice. That's encouraging. That's consistent with what the Bible talks about with God keeping you in perfect peace.
Yes. And you would know without knowing or without thinking about, you would no longer be afraid of death, because you would know that death is not real either. Yes, your spirit will leave your body eventually, with time you get old and you crumble up and fade away, right? But you would know that there's no such thing as dying. You just leave your body, but you're still alive. And there's no pain in death because he took the sting out of pain, out of death. It has no power.
That is what the Bible says, even what you read, 1 Thessalonians 4:15 and 16, talking about those who have fallen asleep. And then later it says dead in Christ. I think that meant that their physical bodies had died, but he cast it as falling asleep and dead, but still in Christ.
Yeah.
Physically dead, but still in Christ.
Absolutely.
Nice.
It's amazing to me how the imagination can deceive us.
Yeah.
It's just all an illusion. None of it is real.
Yeah. And people hold on to it and fight you over it.
Yeah, I know. They love their hell.
Yeah, it's
they
crazy.
They literally love their hell.
True.
And that's why you can't save anyone. You have to just let them suffer, and nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, save yourself.
Yeah, right. You can't save your wife, or the wife can't save the husband, your children, your family members, your church members, your friends. You can't save anyone.
Right.
They just have to suffer and let them die.
Yep. It kind of reminds me, I've brought this example up before, and I don't know if it's a good example exactly, but, you know, I'm the church producer, Church with JLP, the
Right.
fellowship on Sunday.
Yeah.
And if I look and it looks like you or Bill or these guys are not necessarily doing their stuff, or it's approaching the time for them to do their different tasks
before 11 o'clock.
I can mention it to them, of course, which it's my job partly,
Right.
But I notice that if I don't get bothered by it, but just stay on what I'm supposed to do, then it goes smoothly.
Absolutely. It really does.
Same idea as saving yourself,
Yeah.
or working out your own salvation rather than others.
You got to work on yourself, not someone else.
Yeah.
You can't work on anyone else.
Nice.
That's why when those people were saying, those Christians I was talking to the other day, yesterday, they were saying that they out saving people. I'm like, what y'all doing? They're like, we're out saving people. And I'm like, how you going to save someone? You can't even save yourself.
Oh, you mentioned this in the first hour.
Yeah.
Talking about, you heard the dumbest thing.
It was the dumbest thing I ever heard my whole life.
And this was just a off-the-cuff conversation, not recorded?
No, not recorded. They were out on the street. They're saving people.
Oh, nice.
All in the name of Jesus. I'm like, you ain't saving nobody.
Right.
But when I asked, well, how can you save them?
Right.
They were lost for words.
Yep.
I'm like, you can't even save yourself. How you going to save someone? Why don't you just work on you?
Yeah.
And leave everybody else alone. It ain't your job to save somebody.
Yeah. That's another interpretation of the Bible, talking about preaching out stuff. Oh, I think that was he was soaking. I thought that was the bumper already.
Me too.
No. I was just giving you guys some
Christian
Savior music.
Yeah.
Oh,
Church music. And if anybody wants to come to the front of the church,
come on down and accept Jesus.
Hassan throwing us off. That's funny.
Anyway.
Nice.
Thank you.
There's this last passage that Sean plugged in the packet for you. Do you want me to read that real quick?
Yes.
1 Peter 1, 3-7. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy he has given us a new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and into an inheritance that can never perish, spoil, or fade. This inheritance is kept in heaven for you, who through faith are shielded by God's power until the coming of the salvation that is ready to be revealed in the last time. In all this you greatly rejoice, for now, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials, these have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed.
Amazing.
So that's just talking about enduring.
Absolutely.
Nice. You had a throwback Sunday service yesterday asking, what is faith? And the difference between faith and hope.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between faith and hope? You said it's the same. And it talked about being willing to endure.
You got to take it. You got to take the pain.
Yeah.
You got to live with the pain. Don't complain about the pain.
Right.
And let the pain die, and you shall be free.
No opinion about it.
None at all. Don't call it good or bad. Just go about your day, just taking it, suffering through it.
Yeah.
And the more pain you have, the better off you are. Because the greater the pain, the less is the pain.
Huh.
You understand that?
Vaguely.
the greater the pain, the less the pain. Amazing, huh?
Nice.
Anyway, I got to move on.
Sounds
Thank you,
good.
man.
Yeah, thank you.
See you on the Hate Report.
All right.
At 9 a.m. Amazing. Let me go to Becky, a first-time call out of New Jersey. Becky, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hey, Becky, you're on the air.
Yeah, my question was, people that are racist, do they have like some sort of complex that they worship Satan or they're of a demonic spirit?
Well, number one, there's no such thing as racist. It doesn't exist. And those people who are angry and blame other people are definitely evil. They are being controlled by evil. Their hearts are wicked, and that's why they're doing it.
Now, explain why they're wicked for blaming other people.
Because they're blind and can't see, their hearts are wicked, and they blame others for their failure because they cannot see.
Now, you said that, racism doesn't exist.
Right.
And some people are saying that when they're called, the N-word or because of slavery and police brutality, there seems to be a contradiction where people are saying, oh, it does exist because of those things. If racism does not exist, what is the explanation for some racist people using the N-word or, some police brutality against black people?
Well, number one, there is no such thing as police brutality toward black people. And the people who use the N-word, you say?
Yeah.
And those people who do it, and if you notice, the blacks do it more than any other race on this earth. They're just angry. Their hearts are wicked, and they can't see.
Okay, so the people that do use the N-word can be wicked as well?
Unless they're clearly using it as a joke. Because some people can be free from anger, and that words don't mean anything anymore. It has no meaning, so they can joke about it and have no meaning about it. They're not trying to hurt themselves or you with the word. But it's all wickedness, and the people who are of their father, the devil, they sugarcoat evil. They cover it up by calling it racist, police brutality, and all that. They just cover up evil with fancy words.
Because, some people say they're not evil for speaking the truth, and they really do feel legitimately that they're being discriminated against. I mean, is it possible that they could be confused and really think that they are being discriminated against, or are they evil?
They are confused, and they think that people are thinking and feeling what they're feeling because they're living in their imagination, and they don't see that it's them and not someone else. But the devil tells them, you feel this way because someone makes you feel that way. Someone said this or that about it. They call you the N-word. And the devil is lying to them, and they can't see.
Okay, so you think the devil causes chaos in the world for people to be divided?
100%. Absolutely. He worked through people because he dwells in people. He lives in human bodies, right? And he is using them in order to divide and destroy.
Do you think that the world is going to get better at this point or worse?
Worse. The world itself going to get worse because human nature is worse. But you can be in the world and not be bothered by it at all if you overcome the world.
How do you overcome the world?
By overcoming anger and then dying from the ego, the nature of the devil. And you start living from within rather than from without.
It seems to be hard to be a Christian in this world because a lot of people are against Christians and say that the Bible is not real and God is not real. What's when someone says that they're an atheist and they say God is not real, but you believe that God is, what do you say to that person?
I wish you well. That's all you say to them. You don't try to convince them about anything. You can't convince a person about God. They either see Him or they don't. And as far as Christianity, you say it's hard to be a Christian?
It seems to be hard because when you're a Christian, it seems like you have more people that are anti-Christian than Christians.
Oh, I
like
see.
the group is like not balanced. It's like there are more people that are against God than for it, and
Right.
they seem the people that are for God seem to be the minority. And how do you get along with the people that are the majority versus the minority?
Well, the one thing I can assure you, without a doubt, the easiest thing in the whole wide world to be is a Christian. And anyone who thinks that it's hard to be a Christian is not a Christian. The easiest thing to be is a Christian. It takes no effort to be a Christian at all. And so anyone that tells you it's hard to be a Christian, they're telling you they're not a Christian.
Now, what about people that use the GD word, God's name in vain? So there's scriptures saying that when you use that word, you go straight to hell, but it seems to be very prominent in Hollywood movies and also in shows, and I do hear the word a lot, and I also hear it from, different people, like family members, friends, and is it that people are forgetting that they shouldn't use his name in vain, or do you think people don't care, or is it true that you do go to hell if you use God's name in vain?
Well, I don't know if you go to hell as a result, but you're already in hell. You can't see. And that's why they do it, because they just can't see. And that's why Christ said, forgive them. When Christ was talking to his Father, he said, forgive them, they know not what they do. Blind people, and everyone who has anger is blind. They literally don't know what they're doing. They can't see. And you can even ask them, why are you doing that? Why did you say that? They'll tell you, I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I said it. Because they can't see that they're blind and they're driven by the nature, the mindset and emotions of the devil, and it's not them.
So it's the devil that's making them say God's name in vain?
Absolutely.
No.
Do you have anger?
Only sometimes.
Do you have?
I get frustrated.
You have anger?
Yeah.
And are you a Christian?
I don't know. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Can you hold for me?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I got to take a break. One more hour to go. A Bible Thumper Thursday. 888-7753-773. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats and more news items. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
There's a heat dome, the mainstream media tells us, and that's why it's so hot. China's banning seafood from Japan because of the Fukushima water that they're radioactive wastewater from the Fukushima nuclear plant, and some other mess going on in the news. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Peterson Show. It is Thursday, August 24th, 2023 AD. Bible Thumper Thursday does continue in hour 3 in just a moment here, okay? But first, Hake news, not fake news. JLP will be right back to your calls. The lines are full. Hang tight. After the Jesse Peterson Show, the Hake Report will be live, is the plan. And after the Hake Report at noon Pacific time today, American Anchor Baby. If you missed Hassan's show, it's Wow Hassan, all caps, on YouTube. You can use the tag Walking on Water Hassan, 2 S's, by the way, to find his show on YouTube. Also linked from our various channels as well. And of course, tomorrow's Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Heat Dome. Triple-digit temperatures and excessive heat warnings are expected today and Friday across a large swath of the United States, reports Commie Nonsense Network, CNN. On Wednesday, at least 22 states, many around the Gulf Coast, northward to central Minnesota, were under some kind of heat alert. The high temperatures are being fueled by a so-called heat dome, a strong area of high pressure that traps and intensifies hot air at the surface, which has been measured at record levels in multiple states. This week, nearly 24 cattle died in Nebraska. That's 24 cattle. More than 100 Missouri nursing home residents were evacuated, and some businesses in Iowa were forced to close because of the heat, I guess. By Friday, more than 65 million people will have experienced a temperature above 100 degrees, so say meteorologists. And with the humidity, that makes it extra uncomfortable. Seafood ban. China's banning all seafood from Japan in response to Tokyo's decision, that's the capital of Japan, to begin releasing treated radioactive wastewater from Fukushima nuclear plant. Wow, they're banning all seafood? Man, the announcement today from Chinese officials is escalating an already tense feud between the two neighbors. Hello, neighbor. Amid fierce, friendly neighbors, by the way, or not so friendly. Amid fierce criticism, Japan began discharging treated radioactive water in the Pacific Ocean at 1 p.m. local time today, their time, right, to free up storage space at the crippled nuclear power plant. Japan has argued the water is heavily diluted and meets international safety standards, but China said a seafood ban is necessary to protect the health of their consumers due to the potential risk of radioactive contamination in the food. Good old China looking out for their people. Starbucks' beloved pumpkin spice latte is back, reports Commie Nonsense Network, CNN. The far-left extremist coffee chain, Starbucks' signature drink, returns to the fall menu today, marking its 20th anniversary. I've never had it. I cannot recommend it. Katie Moon and Nina Kennedy agreed to share their pole vault gold medal. You know they're women. In a heartwarming moment, reports Commie Nonsense Network at CNN, the two athletes, females, agreed to share the pole vault gold medal at the World Athletic Championships on Wednesday. Women. I'm shaking my head. Let's tie. Barf. Shout out to the women. Former USC star, University of Southern California, private Christian school. Did you know that? Used to be. Reggie Bush, the black longtime former athlete, files defamation suit against NC2A. Bush is accusing the NCAA of defamation, Reggie Bush is, and wants his football records reinstated so he can get his 2005 Heisman Trophy back. Why did they take it away? I've seen billboards around LA, pro-Reggie Bush activists, apparently. He's claiming he was never paid while playing for USC football, American football, by the way. Pay for play as in pro. He's supposed to say amateur. I guess he did. But they said that he got several $1,000s and a vehicle. But he hired Benjamin Crump as his lawyer. I'm James Hake.
to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week. The biblical question, how often do you throw rocks at others? How often do you throw rocks at others? We have every way that you can watch and support the show. Listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. Listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. And don't forget, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, too busy to sit and watch right now, you can podcast all the shows, but you can be listening no matter what you're doing on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, and cozy.tv/JLP, where Christ is King. Cozy.tv. Cozy. Cozy.tv/JLP. It's Thursday, the last hour of the show. Every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday.
I know I'm supposed to go to my seat now, but my mama's a 10-year cancer survivor, and she's standing right there. Wave your hand, mama. 34 treatments of radiation. You can't tell me what God wants.
Somebody beside you don't understand your praise, but I want you to grab somebody around you that don't mind dancing, and I want you to hit the floor right now.
Jesus saw Zacchaeus and he levels the playing field. Jesus institutes an affirmative action program.
Don't y'all let mama dance by herself.
I became so appreciative of my mother.
What the? The anchor baby put that together. What the? My mama don't like you. She likes everyone.
Amazing.
Amazing. What a mess. Remember to get your super chats read out loud and comments read out loud. You can donate and by going to buymeacoffee.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. All right. Let me go back to Becky, a first-time call out of New Jersey. And she was talking about racism and all that kind of stuff. And I asked Becky if she still has anger. She said yes, and that she is a Christian. Sometimes, I think she said. Hey, Becky?
Yeah.
So you still have anger?
Yes.
And are you a Christian?
Sometimes.
And what does that mean, sometimes?
Because sometimes, I pray to the Lord, and sometimes, I don't, and sometimes, I'll have, good thoughts, and sometimes I have bad thoughts. So it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm in between. I can't say that I am, because sometimes I don't have good thoughts. And I can't say that, I don't believe in God because I do. So I don't know which way is correct.
And so, can you give me an example of a good thought?
Just wishing someone success in their endeavor and, being happy for someone, making it an achievement, sending my blessings that they have long and prosperous life and everything works out for them.
And why do you call those good thoughts?
It's good to wish someone well, I think. I think it's a good thing not to have malice or anger towards that person and, hatred. It's good not to have those things. And
you're right about that, but that's not a thought. It's a state of being. You just naturally wish even your enemy well.
Okay.
Do you believe that? Well, the one thing I want to tell you is that there is no such thing as a good thought.
Okay.
And there's no thing as a bad thought. They both ways are just lies. It's a setup. Do you believe you can overcome anger and not have it at all?
I believe it would take time.
And why?
Because when you're in an environment, I guess the world, where you just see nothing but negativity.
Yeah.
And nothing, everything is horrible in the news, everything people are saying, social media platforms, and your brain is filled with imagery of everything bad and everything negative. In my opinion, it's a challenge to overcome that because you see things and hear things that make you angry and make you want to do something about it, like you want to right the wrong, which puts a person in an anger state.
But
to overcome that is a challenge.
But that's happening in their world. It doesn't have to happen in your world. You are your world, and you don't have to live like that in your world, but you can let them live like that in their world.
No, you want to do something about it. You feel like you want to make it right. You want to
But you can't make it right.
Their world.
You can't change their world, and there's nothing you can do about it but leave them in their world and let them suffer and die. You have to work on your world. And you can't even save yourself in your own world, but you work on it so you shall be saved in your own world. And your world will be at peace, perfect peace. And whatever somebody else's world is like is on them. You wouldn't be affected.
How do you separate your world, though, from the world? It's like you have your world, like you say, but how do you separate your world from the world that you're currently in?
By living from within rather than without.
So it's psychological, is what you're saying?
Well, you have to overcome this psychological mindset because it is of the world, it's evil. And once you overcome that, you shall be free. And in your world, the kingdom of heaven within your world, you're living from within. No matter what somebody else's world is like, it only affects them and it will not affect you. Even when they try to affect you with their world, they won't be able to do it if you're truly living from within your world. You cannot change another person's world. Even God won't change their world. He's already made it possible for them to enter into a world of perfect peace, but he'll let them stay in that dark world and let them suffer because they love their suffering.
But speaking of suffering, one final question. Do you think that Black people enjoy suffering? They enjoy drama? They enjoy problems?
100%. If you tried to take their drama away from them or their problem, they will kill you. They love their hell.
Why is that?
Because they love evil. They love misery. and they hate peace. They hate God.
You think black people hate God?
Yes. 100%. And there are some who are waking up and overcoming it, and they love God, but most black people hate God. And that's why they love their misery. And you can't take it away anyway, but you can't even encourage them to overcome it because they love it. And they hate anyone that tries to tell them you don't have to be that way. You can overcome that. They don't want to hear that. What the?
All right.
So, Becky, you want to overcome your hell?
Yeah.
Forgive your mother and return to your father. Forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother, and God will forgive you and get rid of, and your hell will have to disappear away from you.
Now, what if your mother is deceased?
You realize that she couldn't help herself, just as you can't help yourself. You know, you don't want to be angry and afraid and all that, right? But you can't change it because she gave you her hell where she imposed herself on you, and just realize she couldn't help it. Her mother did it to her, and then that would cause you to, by you realizing you can't help it, it would cause you to realize she couldn't help it, and since she's dead, it will cause you to forgive her. God will take away the spirit of evil, which is anger and fear.
Okay.
Have you tried the silent prayer yet?
What is the silent prayer?
It's a prayer that, you know how God said, be still and know that He is God? It's on my YouTube channel at rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. I forgot what. Can I see the other one? /prayer. Rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. And it will show you how to be still. And if you do that little hooping and hollering prayer, do your little hooping and hollering first, because you're hooping and hollering with the devil. And when you're done praying with the devil, be still and know God. He'll bring you out of the imagination. All thoughts are all lies all the time. He will bring you out and make you free.
Okay. Well, that's helpful. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. All right? Give it a try. Let me know how it goes.
Okay.
All right. Take care, Becky. Thanks for calling.
Take care, Jesse.
All right. Amazing. 888-7753. 773-888-77-JESSE. Victoria, first time call out of California. I mean, not Victoria. I'm looking at Victoria, but Victor, a first time call out of California. Hey, Victor, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, Jesse?
All is well, sir.
Yeah, man, I'm just calling in because I just wanted to say I support what you do, and I've been listening to you for like 5 years on YouTube, listening to like your videos and stuff, and it's crazy because I remember when I first started listening to you, at first I was like tripping out. I was like, wow, this guy's saying some kind of off the wall things, you know, but I agreed with a lot of it from the get go.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm just tripping out. I can't believe I'm actually talking to you right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, and yeah, so you know, and I would put you on to a lot of my friends and stuff like that, and a lot of them would be talking crap and be like, "Yeah, this guy's full of shit, this and that." Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
No.
I know I'm not supposed to cuss on the air. But yeah, and you know, it's just crazy because I used to read all the comments on YouTube and see, you know, everybody disrespecting you and saying all this kind of stuff like that, like all this bad stuff. And, you know, now I go back and I'm reading the comments and it's like you have a lot of supporters and you have a lot of people that actually, you know, are agreeing with what you've always been saying, really, since the beginning. I've even watched a lot of your old videos from, like, I mean, obviously they weren't YouTube videos, but they were just, stuff from probably 20 years ago, and you've always been keeping the same message. And I think that's important because a lot of these guys that are on YouTube and, trying to have all these different talk shows and stuff like that, their message has more or less changed throughout the years. And yours has pretty much been the same, and I appreciate that. And I just want to say I support what you're doing.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Amazing.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Victor. Call me. Let me ask, have you overcome your anger?
No, I have not. I'm an extremely angry person.
And why don't you overcome it?
I've just been through a lot of stuff in my life, and I'm definitely working on overcoming it. But I mean, I still flash here and there and get really pissed off, and it's just hard to I mean, like you say on your show, like boys that were just raised by their mother. Pretty much, I was raised by my mom.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I agree with everything you say because you need that man in the home to be able to, grow up and become the man that you're supposed to be.
So why not just forgive your mother for what she's done to you? She couldn't help it. She didn't have love to give you, so she couldn't help it. And God will forgive you, and He'll take her spirit, which is of the devil, away from you, and you'll be free of anger.
Oh yeah, man, I do. I try. It's just a lot of stuff, man. It's too much to talk about here on the air, probably. But
right.
Yeah.
You tried to forgive your mother?
Yeah, no, I definitely have. See, okay, so let me just give you a little bit background story. So my mother had schizophrenia, and she was actually homeless when she had me, but when I was conceived. Her and my father, they had me out of wedlock, of course. And so my mom was homeless, and then basically I don't know if she signed up for some type of program or something, but and she had schizophrenia, so those two things.
Right.
So you weren't very good, but yeah. So I don't know if she signed up for some type of program or something. But basically, she was supposed to adopt me out, and she did. The people that and it's kind of hard to talk about this, but yeah. So the people that were going to adopt me out, they were like putting her up in a hotel and all that, and paying for her food and everything like that, so she'd be off the streets and be more healthy or whatever, give birth to a healthy child, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And basically, once I was born, then basically she decided to keep me, which is crazy, right? Because you would think, just do the right thing, give this kid off to, some, people that could, take care of him better or whatever. So, and don't get me wrong, my mom did her best. She ended up getting on, she ended up getting on housing authority and all this stuff. And, I lived a pretty normal life, I guess, given the circumstances. But, I just kind of always thought back because I feel like, man, I would have been a lot further in life and just, had a better, situation given that she would have gave me up. But I'm glad that she didn't because it really built me up to the man that I am. And, I've taken the things that have happened and, try to turn them around for good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's what I recommend, Victor. Schizophrenia is coming from anger. Every angry person is a schizophrenia person. They're crazy in the head, right? And they can't help it.
Yeah.
And they...
You know what I'm saying? But when she would get angry, it was like a whole nother, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type thing. It was pretty crazy.
Well,
but I don't want to make anything.
Knowing that about her, knowing that, and it came from anger, and her mother passed it on to her, why not forgive her so that you can go free, and your life would change by itself, and it would change immediately, and you'll be fine. You have the life that you were created to have. But as long as you...
That's right. I agree.
Yeah, but why don't you just go to her and tell her, I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize now you can
well,
help
actually,
it.
my mom passed away when I was 27 years old. I'm 39 now.
Oh,
so
I see.
She passed away in 2013.
Well, then knowing that she can help herself, and that's what anger does to people, all people, then just realize she can help it so that you can forgive her and God will forgive you and you will have an amazing life. You really will. You wouldn't be emotional like that with anger. You wouldn't feel that you've lost anything but have gained all things. You would be fine, but I recommend you drop the anger. She can help it.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I do. I mean, I have I've talked to therapists, all types of stuff, man, and I have forgiven her, but it's just I feel like it's still like a process. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just like a light switch. But for me, I feel like it's been a process. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely better with my anger. Like I'm telling you, because I own my own business even, and...
Well, don't call it your anger. It's not your anger. It's the spirit of evil that made a home in your imagination.
Okay.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
Yes, dude, I've been listening to... I just seen that the other... It's crazy because it's been up for a while, and I seen it, but I never actually clicked on it, and I clicked on it, I was like, holy crap, this is the real deal right here, so I've just been doing that. I mean, I already... kind of was familiar with meditation and things like that, and so I kind of feel like that's what it is. It's just, but it's a little bit less, Eastern philosophy, if you will.
Yeah, you want to observe. You want to observe those thoughts, but not hold on to them. Don't identify with them. You don't want to meditate on them. You want to let them pass. You want to become the observer of the not you, and the light, which is the nature of God. The light of God will destroy the darkness, which is the thoughts, which are the thoughts and the feeling.
Right.
And so
when you say all thoughts, because I mean I agree. Like I said, I agree with most of what you say. So I'm a heavy reader of the Bible as well, and I've been studying the Bible since I was a young kid. And when you say all thoughts are from the devil, what about in the Bible when it says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he? And I know it also says that the heart is wicked and deceitful and all that. Who can know it? So it's like, a lot of these, success teachers and people, they always, refer back to that scripture, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So think positive, all this kind of stuff like that. And I do agree with that. But like, what do you think about that? Where it says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." How do you apply that? How would you apply that?
People with anger, they think that they are God. That's why they try to make their own life work. They make decisions. They have ideas, and they think that they are God. So in their own mind, they are, but it's not real. It's an illusion. They are a false God. They're of their daddy, the devil. But once you overcome the anger, you stop making decisions. You stop having ideas. You stop identifying with all these images that the devil gives you in your mind.
But what about like your ideas for like your business and stuff like that?
Well, that's fine. That's a practical thing. But you don't live by it.
That's not what you're talking about. Then that's not the stuff you're talking about.
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm glad you asked. I'm not talking about practical thinking.
Yeah, because some stuff I'm like, what the heck? That doesn't make no sense. How would I get good ideas for my business and this and that? Right. You know what I mean?
No, you use those practical ideas to run your business, but you don't live by them. Once you do it, you put the tool down, the idea of you do the business thing, but you don't live by them. But these thoughts that come to your imagination telling you all the other stuff is what you should. Non-practical thoughts are what you should let pass because it's all lies. It's a setup.
Right.
Even
now what about this? Now what about I believe it's John 10:34. I'm not positive, but but Jesus said, "And I said, ye are gods; all of you are sons of the Most High." So I mean, how do you feel about that? Like where he says that we're all gods.
The real Victor, is the Son of God. And he has God nature, but you don't know who that is yet because you identify with the not you. You're not the anger. You're not the thoughts. You're not the emotions. You're not this or that. You're not. There is no you, but there is a real you, and the real you is created in the image of God. And once all these fake yous, these false ideas you have disappear, the real you will appear, and you will know the Father, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Okay, so it's like sometimes when you say things, you super simplify them, and I'm like, what does he mean by that? Does he mean this? But then you'll say certain things that are like really profound, and then I'll be like, okay, he knows what's up. He's not. He comes off like he's just really simple, but I know you're a lot more deeper than what meets the eye, and that's what I appreciate, because you do simplify things, and it's almost like it shows how witty you are, because. And I'm not trying to just, dig you up and over the.
I understand that. Yeah, I'm not saying it that way.
Right, and you have a very like subtle way of like the average person wouldn't be able to pick up on your wittiness, but after hearing you for a while, it's like, okay, this guy's way smarter and way more sharp than a lot of people give him credit for.
Amazing,
man. What's that?
Amazing.
Yeah, no, seriously. And I think that's a superpower, man, because a lot of people try to come off smarter than they are, and I think that's like probably the dumbest thing that you could do, because seriously, because you give away your whole hand. You show everybody everything you have right there. Not only that, what you don't have, because, people will call you out on your ignorance, too, if you really don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I want you to know that the same spirit that guides me is in you as well. And that's why you can see where I'm coming from, because he is allowing you to see it. See, it's not
right.
you.
And by the way, I'm a white man.
You white?
Yeah, I'm white.
Why you sound black?
Because I grew. That's another reason why I wanted to make that clear too. I grew up. Okay, so I grew up in the hood. I'm actually a barber. I own a barber shop out here where I live, and very successful barber shop. And so I grew up in the hood, and I grew up. I was pretty much always the only white person in my neighborhood that I grew up in. And I also went to a barber college in San Francisco that was like in this area called Hunters Point, San Francisco.
So you grew up around black people?
All black people.
Wow.
My whole life. Yeah.
Your voice sound black?
No, yeah, people always tell me that. People even say I look black, but I'm not. I might have like a little, maybe like, 10% or something from. My aunt did that ancestry thing, but my mom's father is from Italy, and my grandma. I don't know exactly where she was from.
So
I never really met them.
Your father and mother are white, though, right?
Yeah. They're white, yeah, but not like blonde hair, blue eyed white, but like Italian, dark hair, olive skin, but still, like if you see me, you'd be like, oh, he's a white boy.
That's amazing.
But all my black friends growing up always call me the N-word. Like it's always been like they've always seen me as straight up. I have black friends that are like, man, I do not see you as a white person. I see you as, and I'm like, that always made me feel good, because like, man, I'm accepted. This is who I want to be. This is who I want to be accepted by, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because that's who I grew up with, So I always felt I had to prove myself in everything.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
Richard, call me again. I gotta run. We're coming to a break. Call me again, all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, buddy.
Have a good day, Jim.
All right.
Yep.
Amazing. I thought you were black. You think you're black? Eminem ain't got nothing on him. I'll take a break. 888-7753-773. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, They have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Amazing! Bible Thumper! Bible Thumper! Bible Thumper! Bible Thumper! Bible Thumper! All right, welcome back. 888-775-3773. 888-77-JESSE. Couple quick announcements. Number one, the Hake, H-A-K-E report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. And James Hake is on fire. And then at 12 noon, the one, the only, American Anchor Baby. At 12 noon Pacific time. The American Anchor Baby. Flying high, but not on pot, on life. Life energy. At 12 Pacific time, noon. All right? And don't forget, tomorrow, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, brand new episode of The Fallen State. I had a very interesting and amazing conversation with Austin Peterson. He is a former Libertarian president candidate and the host of Wake Up America newscast. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
In 2016, I ran as a libertarian for president of the United States. We probably are going to do better presenting a unified front against what the left has become, which is a threat to all of our liberties.
What's wrong with the blacks?
No one wants to be a part of the out-group, Jesse.
And are you a good person?
Oh, boy, you were asking the big questions today.
Do you like being married to a woman who is like your mother?
She's basically like sunshine and rainbows.
I actually enjoy when he sheds a tear. That's really cool for me.
I bet. Amazing. She went and forgave her mother after that conversation, according to the tweet she put out there. That's amazing. So that's tomorrow. And for personalized shout-outs, birthday celebrations, encouragements, congratulations, whatever it might be. One guy did a shout-out for he wanted me to tell his girlfriend he wanted to marry her during the shout-out. Isn't that amazing? Go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Amazing. let me go to. It looked like Jehovah or Jover. Is it? That's a real name. That's the name of a person. Oh, Jehovah Jireh, my provider. His grace is sufficient for me.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
All is well. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
So your name is Jehovah?
Yes, that's a name that God gave me.
Oh, I was wondering if your parents gave you that name.
Well, God, Jesus came to see me in 2009. John 14:21 tells you it's possible.
And he gave you that name. Why did he change your name?
Because he told me that I was the God-sent comforter, Holy Ghost incarnate, and it's now proven in the state of California.
Really? That's amazing.
Yes,
and so, okay.
I was I was just calling you, but then I knew that God led me here because you were speaking about the rapture.
Right.
The true God-sent comforter is sent right before the rapture. See, a lot of pastors were speaking about the rapture, but they skipped over John 14:26, the man sent in Jesus' name. See, Jesus
who is the comforter?
John 14:26 tells you the comforter is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in Jesus' name. This comforter, Holy Ghost, is from the Godhead. 1 John chapter 5, verse 7. There are three that bear record in heaven: the Father, the Word, that's Jesus, and the Holy Ghost. That's the true God and comforter.
And where is the comforter now?
The Holy Ghost comforter. I'm on the phone with you.
Where is the comforter?
The comforter, are you talking about spiritually or physically?
Where is the comforter that God sent?
The comforter that God sent that lives inside of you is John 14:17. That's the Spirit of truth. But then he sends the physical embodiment of the comforter to reprove the world, John 14:26. So they're different.
And what's the difference? And when did he send the second comforter?
I was born in this generation. For 21 years, I just thought I was a regular person until Christ came to see me.
And so Christ came to your house?
The Bible tells you he can manifest before you. John chapter 14, verse 21. I proved that scripture really happened. For 12 years, people thought I was crazy.
Did he come to your house?
Yes, he manifested before me twice in 2009.
Who did, Jesus or God?
Jesus Christ.
And what did he look like?
He was in his spiritual form. I drew an image of him in my book, Holy
Was he
Bible
white
Nature.
or black? Was he white or black?
He's in his spiritual glorified body.
Hold on a minute, buddy. Sean, I don't know what that's about. While Sean is working that out, let me go to Cheyenne out of Arizona. Cheyenne, thank you for calling. You on the air.
Hello, Jesse.
Hello, Cheyenne.
I have a question about, do you think or do you believe that Jesus was resurrected?
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, and so what does resurrected mean to you?
Well, for a long time, I wasn't even, I was raised a Christian, and I stopped being a Christian when I was 12, and now getting back to it, these Christians have ideas.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm kind of,
I understand.
trying to digest
Yes, he was
stuff.
truly resurrected.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was, raised from the dead?
Yes.
And do you think we're all raised from the dead? Because earlier you said, our spirit. So do you think we all have that happen to us, or?
All those who die of the ego death shall be resurrected. Absolutely.
Nice. And then you were talking to a lady earlier, Becky, and you said an example of like a good thought. So I think I might have a good thought.
Okay.
I think. So something that's helped me, like when life gets tough or if fear takes over my mind or if anything like that happens, I remind myself that this moment is as it should be because the entire universe is as it should be. And it relates to what you said with keep your mind where the body is, because this one time when we started our business, we struggled really hard financially, and we got an eviction letter, and I remember my mind went spiraling to hell. I was like so scared. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be on the streets. So my mind's making up all these stories of what bad things are going to happen to me. And I was washing my hands in the bathroom sink one day, and I was just like, this moment is as it should be because the entire universe is as it should be. And I was just right there washing my hands like, no, I'm fine right now. Like, I'm here right now. So I did what you said, keeping the mind where the body is. And then it never happened. All the thoughts were lies.
Beautiful. Amazing. That's an amazing story, Cheyenne. That's exactly how it is. You keep the mind where the body is because the body is in present. It's not in the past and not in the future. It's now, but your mind can be somewhere else. Your body be in the kitchen, but your mind can be downtown or thinking about this or that, and it's just not true. And you bring it back to reality, it's amazing.
Yeah, your mind can make you suffer so bad unnecessarily. Ridiculous.
I know, because it's evil. It's not of God. It is the mindset of the spirit of evil, of the devil. And whenever you listen to the mind, you're worshiping the devil. You listen to the devil, and you're going to have grief inside of your body, fear and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
what's crazy?
What?
You said your biblical question. I thought of this. It reminded me of a moment me and my boyfriend were kind of like bickering a little bit. I thought probably something so dumb. And in that moment, I stood there and I was looking at him and I was like, he's saying things to me and I'm over here like, why do I have to respond? We're like just throwing rocks at each other. Even trying to defend yourself in a conversation, it's like you're just throwing rocks right back and forth. It never ends.
Amazing. Nice. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. And you shall be resurrected and going to blow your mind. Just as Jesus did it, so shall you if you allow the not you to disappear, to die. You will rise and you will have life and life forever.
I had a dream, and this is, I don't know if I should take this seriously, but I had a dream that I was like laying down, like I was awake while I was asleep. My body was on the couch, and I was like, I knew I was there while I was sleeping, and I just started like going up, and I was like, and I felt this like nothing existed. I was just nothing but like, I don't know, love. Everything about me just didn't exist. And I was like, I kind of like fell back down. I was like, oh, that's scary.
Well, that's what happens when you fall back into those thoughts. You fall back into hell.
And I was like, I don't know if that was God or the devil, but then again, that's a thought too. So
yeah, absolutely. Don't try to figure it out. It will be shown to you. Cheyenne,
all right,
thank you for your call. I got to run. Stay with it, all right?
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, stay with it. Call me again.
All right, bye.
All right, now. Amazing. See, there are men and women waking up, folks. They're truly waking up, not just intellectually. Because waking up intellectually is not waking up. Let me go to Sam out of Illinois.
Jesse,
how you doing?
How are you?
All is well. Welcome to the show.
I'm good. Happy Men's History Month.
Oh, yeah. Happy Men's History Month. Thank you.
Good. I wanted to ask you about a couple of things. So first, I know you're supporting the Great White Hope for president, Donald Trump. And I'm leaning towards him as well. I haven't made up my mind yet. I still have to smoke on it. But I wanted to know, like, when it comes to Vivek Ramaswamy, I know you have trouble with this name, but why? To me, watching the debate yesterday and following his campaign, it seems like his views are most similar to the Great White Hope. So why are you like ruling him out so definitively?
Well, because he's young, and because he's a foreigner, and everything's so messed up in my country right now. If he were to become president, he wouldn't be able to do anything because those people would chew him up and spit him out, and he wouldn't be able to do anything. We need a seasonal person like Donald Trump. He's been in there already, so he know where all the bones are buried, the bodies are buried, right, so to speak.
Right.
And he would go in and straighten all that out now, whereas this guy wouldn't be able to do that. He's just too young and too naive.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, he might be, I mean, he's definitely on the younger side.
Yeah.
But I just want to know what you thought about this, because he was born in Ohio. His parents are from India. So I guess, like, in that standpoint, he's less native to the country than someone like Donald Trump. But even with Trump, like, his grandfather came here from Germany. His mom came here from Scotland. Before that, he didn't have any ancestors here in the U.S. either. So is it kind of like you're ruling out anybody who's, I don't know if this is the case. You can tell me if it's true or not. Are you ruling out anybody who's not white as a good candidate? Because you support Larry Elder, right? And he's black.
I do, yeah. I think that Larry and Donald Trump and Larry would be an amazing ticket. Because Larry is even key. He understands the issues. He's not afraid. And those people that would go after him, they would not be able to defeat him. Because there are Republicans representatives, and we know about the Democrat, but there are Republican representatives and in the media, so-called conservative media, who don't like Donald Trump. And they don't want the country to get better. And so it's going to be a big deal, whoever get in there right now, especially if they're a real conservative, it's going to be a big deal. The fight is going to be on in that they're going to try to stop them from making America great. And only Donald Trump and I believe Larry can do that. And even with Larry, he's going to get good training if he's the VP. He would get good training from Donald Trump. He would see what's really going on, and he would be able to continue that. Whereas this guy, Vic, he won't be able to do it. He's just too light.
So, of the candidates yesterday,
did you see him? Did you see him exercising with his wife?
Oh, Vivek or Trump?
Vic, whatever his name.
Well, I mean, doesn't that kind of make him like an alpha male, though, because he likes to exercise? Like Trump's kind of fat, right?
But it would have been after he would do it privately. What did he bring on TV for with his wife?
I actually didn't see that. I saw him play tennis with his shirt off.
Yeah, what's all that about? We need somebody to run the country. We don't need somebody to be fancy.
That was a little weird. I think that he's trying to get like the young vote. Maybe
Come back to your phone. Come back to your phone.
Yeah. Sorry, can you hear me now, Jesse?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was a little weird too, to be honest. I think maybe he's trying to go for like the young person vote, or maybe he's trying to get like the women vote. Although I don't think he looked that good with his shirt off, to be honest. I think I was better with my shirt off than he was.
He remind me of a YouTuber, and running the government is not like being on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a YouTube show. This is a serious deal, man. Our country is falling apart because everybody want to be seen and not do the work. Donald Trump will do the work.
So, of the candidates yesterday, who was like your like? Let's just say you had to pick between them. Who was your favorite?
And to be honest with you, if I had to pick, I would pick none of those. If I had to vote for president this time, and those people were the only people that were running, it would be one time in my life I would not vote for president. Because it's just more the same and nothing different. It's all It's just a show me. It's not about taking on the issues and making the country work, such as Donald Trump did when he was in there, and he would do it again. But you know what, Sam, I got to run because of time. Will you call me again?
Sure. Yeah, I will, man. Thanks.
Okay, a great call. Thank you. Super chat. Super chats. There's one line open at 888-7753-773. 888-77 Jesse. Jesse. Super chat.
Carilta. Maybe Carlita, misspelled, not sure. Says, we cut my husband's family a while back. This is on Buy Me a Coffee. After turning on us. They wished we horrible things on us. We now have been catching hell in our relationship and financially like no other time. Do you believe in evil spells? How can we overcome these?
No, not evil spell from someone else. The evil spell already in you. And you overcome it by overcoming the imagination and just staying present. You heard Cheyenne, right, earlier? She talked about how she stayed present and realized the situation wasn't like she thought it was. So just stay present, do the silent prayer, and those people who have turned on you, wish them well. They can't help it. They know not what they do. They don't have love, because if they had love, they would not have done that to your family. All right? So just stay present. You'll be fine. Thank you.
Also on Buy Me a Coffee, Santino Robles bought 3 coffees. I remember in those books, Jesus telling someone, I never knew you. And then Jesus drops him on in the lake of fire. Traumatized, for real. I think he's talking about the Chicks publications, the comic books, the scary comic.
Repeat that.
Santino Robles bought 3 coffees. I remember in those books, booklets maybe.
Oh,
Jesus,
about those little pamphlet things your mama
I'm
had.
suspecting that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus telling someone, I never knew you. And then Jesus drops him into the lake of fire. So he says, traumatized, FR, which stands for real.
Jesus like, what the?
Terrible. Yeah, I can picture that too. I think I know maybe just the one.
Amazing. Thank you.
Renesio bought a coffee, The Rapture. It's not something I would do.
What?
The Rapture. It's not something Renesio would do.
Amazing. Thank you.
Star Sion bought a coffee. Jesse, what do you think how a woman should be? What type of woman were you attracted to back in your serious relationship dating days? The Western culture have led women to be out of control. The internet and now the Chinese making these crazy outfits for women, she says.
She said, how should they be?
Yeah.
She asked, how should they be?
Yeah.
They should love what's right with all their heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else or no one else or anything else. And that would cause her to be the way she should be. The light of God would cause her to go from lady to womanhood. No human being, no money, no nothing can make a lady become a woman, just as nothing can make a boy become a man. Only the Spirit of God can do that. Return to the Father, and all is well. It's amazing. Thank you.
Also on Buy Me a Coffee, what's wrong with back wonen? Bought a coffee. May I ask, if the black women hate the white women, then why do they bleach their skin and wear straight wigs to be like a white woman? He asks.
Because you become like what you hate. You end up becoming exactly what you hate. Why do you think women become like their mothers and they don't want to be that way? I ain't never be like my mother, they say. And yet they end up being just like mama. Amazing, huh? Good question. Thank you.
Over on D Live, Henry Ford lives with a diamond. Chris Christie ate up all my reparations. What the? Kid Combo 1 with a diamond.
Amazing. Thank you.
Misty emoji face smoke sign, mind blown with blowing smoke and mind blown and shh emoji. Hush. with your finger over your mouth. Emoji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, folks.
Yeah.
I am so out of time. I'm out of time tomorrow. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, it's Open Line Friday. And the Hake report is coming up now from 9 to 11. And after that at 12, the American Anchor Baby. Tony from California. Greg, a first-time call out of Ohio. Hannah, a first-time call out of West Virginia. Anthony, a first-time call out of Illinois. I am so out of time. If you can, call me back tomorrow, and I'll get to your calls. All right? Become your own man. Become your own woman. Get on that straight and narrow. Go and forgive. Get on that straight and narrow. Let your ego die. Get on that straight and narrow. And don't be moved. All right? God is with you. It will happen. It will change you from the abnormal to the norm. All right, folks. Thank y'all. Amazing day. I appreciate it. Hake is coming up now. TheHakeReport.com.
Check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understanding to lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
Know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Like my cousin, sent me you, and I thank him for that. It was more of a, he thinks the whole everything's a joke. That just adds a little spice to it. But in the heart of what you're saying, there is real things going on. And people want to overlook that. And I'm telling you, Mr. Peterson, I'm not one of those people. And I thank God that He showed you to me. And sometimes we just need some Jesse in our lives, I guess.
I wish we had more brothers like you. We need more brothers like you. Because we don't have most guys that can, lead black people into the right direction. And I thank you for that, because a lot of people will be like, man, it's still going on. It's racism. Yeah. And I try to tell them, watch his show. Listen to this brother. He's telling the truth.
Take no thought about tomorrow. Yesterday doesn't exist. And you're going to see, man, God is with us and all is well.